guys, I got a great new project for you. We're going to build a camper back in this Toyota truck. It's a 1995 6-foot bed. And what we're going to do is have a sleeping area at the same height as the wheel wells, a large drawer in the center that extends about halfway, 2 smaller drawers on the side that extend back to the wheel wells right before them, and then have a trap door in the very back that lifts up so you can stow stuff under there, but it won't be accessible from the tailgate. We're also going to leave this back about 6 inches so you can store stuff in front of the drawers, and the drawers will have locks on them so they don't open. That's just kind of for some free space. And the idea behind this whole project will be, it'll be like an H and it'll fit inside those wheel wells. And what I also want to do is make this removable so that it can come out in 2 or 3 parts, and that can be connected together with some sort of a hinge or a like a gate lock. And it'll all just be floating. It should be heavy enough so when you're driving it doesn't jostle around, especially when you have the drawers. The drawers will have wooden slides on them, with waxed wooden slides. And I'm going to be doing all this with reclaimed wood, just stuff I got lying around, pallets and old 2x4s, stuff like that. So stay tuned, it's going to be a great build. Alright, so I chopped my legs up. That's going to be used to support the midsection. This build's going to be in 3 sections so that it's easily removable from the truck. I just drilled some pilot holes and attached them on with some old screws I had. All the wood from this is either reclaimed or the really cheap bent 2x4s from the typical homeowner store. I attached the cross members with some screws as well, and that pulls both of the sides together, and I spaced them in a certain way so I would have a larger gap that would go to the back of the truck, and that's going to be my little trap door that will fold up so you can have access to store things in the back. And that's because I didn't want the drawers to extend the whole length. And I just cut a sheet to put on the top and started cutting out the 2 smaller side sections that are going to also be floating next to this. I wasn't entirely sure how I was going to lay out the 2 side pieces, so I just put the sheets of plywood down and they overlap onto the midsection, and then just hung my legs from there. I made them go back to the wheel wells, and I'm also going to have that on the reverse side so that the whole thing doesn't shift around in the truck while driving. Then I started cutting out my drawers. I used a 3/4 inch thick piece of plywood for the bottom, and then a 1/2 inch for the sides. And I just used my brad nailer to mock them up and nail them on, and then use some small 1-inch screws to attach them to the main piece, the bottom part. I wanted the middle drawer to slide on rails because it would carry the most weight. So I cut 2 pieces with 45-degree angles to be the sliders. I thought that would center the drawer better, but it actually gave me a lot of problems with assembly because everything wasn't perfect. So it took a little bit of figuring and a little bit extra cutting to get the middle drawer to fit right. Here I'm just finishing up the two side drawers. They're a little bit deeper because I didn't have all the supports that I had in the middle section. And again, I used brad nails to mock them up and 1-inch screws to attach them. And then I also put little spacers on the inside, which you'll see in a little bit here, to give me something to screw into. And then I finished up the cutting with the circular saw just to make it the right height. Now I'm attaching the fronts of the drawers, and I just used some pallet wood for that. I tacked them on with a brad nailer and then came back on the back end side and screwed them into place. And here's the first part of this build. Please comment, rate, and subscribe to my channel.